Welcome to the Eldritch Hour, where we dive deep into the terrifying and the unknown. I am Lilith Fury, the Eldritch Queen of Horror, here to guide you through the darkest corners of the supernatural, the terrifying true crimes, and the legends that continue to haunt our world. Tonight, we delve into the chilling tale of the cursed Bloody Violin. The story of the Bloody Violin is one shrouded in mystery, blood, and tragedy. The violin, an instrument of beauty and passion, was transformed into a symbol of death and malevolent force. A cursed object with a legend that stretches back to the 18th century. It has been passed down through the hands of many, leaving destruction and heartbreak in its wake. Some say it was crafted by a master violin maker with a dark secret. Others claim it was an instrument of vengeance designed for a soul forever bound to the devil. The earliest known account of the Bloody Violin begins with the mysterious craftsman named Anton Virgil, who worked in Vienna in the late 1700s, a man of questionable morals and a reputation for producing beautiful yet unusually dark-sounding violins. Anton was known to sell his instruments to the wealthiest and the most powerful people in the city. However, his talents came at a price. Legend has it that Anton made a pact with a shadowy figure, believed to be none other than the devil himself, in exchange for great mastery of his craft. The violin that would become known as the Bloody Violin was said to be the result of this unholy bargain. Anton, desperate for wealth and power, poured his soul into crafting this one violin. It is said that he took an unusual approach, using rare woods which were believed to be cursed, and mixing blood, whether animal or human is unclear, into the varnish. After finishing the violin, Anton disappeared from Vienna, leaving behind only his cursed creation. The violin remained silent for years until it was purchased by a renowned violinist named Lucien Darnel, a man of immense skill but a twisted obsession with perfection. Lucien had heard of Anton's work and was drawn to the violin's dark allure. When he first played the Bloody Violin, it produced a sound so hauntingly beautiful that it made those who heard it weep uncontrollably. However, there was something unsettling about the sound, a dissonance hidden beneath its beauty that no one could quite explain. Lucien soon found himself unable to stop playing the violin, and as the days passed, he began to change. Witnesses claimed that his eyes grew hollow and his skin became pale and sickly, as though drained of life. He was heard to speak of dark whispers and a voice that urged him to keep playing. Eventually, Lucien's obsession with the instrument consumed him. One fateful night, after a particularly intense performance, Lucien collapsed on stage, his body stiff with rigor mortis, his hands still clutching the violin as though in a death grip. Some say that Lucien's body was found with a grotesque symbol carved into its chest, an inverted pentagram, though no one could say who had done it. His death was ruled as an accident brought on by exhaustion and stress, but many believe that the violin had claimed yet another victim. I think the pentagram thing was a little bit of satanic panic, but then again, that's just me. The Bloody Violin's legacy didn't end with Lucien. The cursed instrument made its way through several more owners, each of whom had met a tragic end. The most infamous of these was a wealthy aristocrat named Isabella Rochefort, who was said to have acquired the violin in the early 1800s. Isabella, known for her elegance and wealth, was intrigued by the rumors surrounding the violin's dark history. However, her curiosity would lead to a horrifying fate. Isabella was found dead in her home under mysterious circumstances. Her death was brutal. She had been stabbed repeatedly, though there was no evidence of a struggle. What was most chilling, however, was the discovery of the bloody violin placed gently beside her corpse. A note was found nearby, written in blood, and it read, "Music will be your final death." Police suspected foul play, but there was no clear suspect. Gee, I wonder why the police suspected foul play. Rumors swirl that Isabella had been playing the violin when she was attacked, and some witnesses claim to have heard the violin playing itself in the dead of night long after her death. The whispers of the violin's malevolent power began to spread, and the legend of the bloody violin grew stronger. While the exact whereabouts of the bloody violin became harder to trace over the years, there were many more accounts of strange deaths and mysterious occurrences tied to the instrument. In the early 1900s, a famous orchestra conductor named Gerald Hayes was found murdered in his hotel room, and once again, the bloody violin was discovered at the scene of the crime. Gerald's death was horrific. His throat had been cut, and his body was arranged in an eerie, ritualistic pose. Police speculated that he had been killed by someone close to him, yet there was no clear evidence of a motive. Witnesses, however, reported seeing a shadowy figure near the hotel shortly before Gerald's death. A few paranormal experts, including the famed psychic Madeline Moreau, were convinced that the violin was cursed and that it had taken yet another life. Madeline claimed that she had felt a cold, oppressive force when she came into contact with the violin, and that it was this very force that had caused the deaths surrounding it. In the decades that followed, the bloody violin continued to haunt paranormal community. Several ghost hunters and psychics, including Dr. Anthony Graves and Samantha Blackwood, reported chilling experiences when they encountered the violin in various haunted locations. Dr. Graves, an expert in paranormal investigations, described a feeling of overwhelming sense of dread and despair when he attempted to touch the violin during an investigation at an abandoned mansion where it had been temporarily housed. According to Dr. Graves, the violin emitted a low, growling hum that no one could explain. And some of the team members felt as though they were being choked by an unseen force. Samantha Blackwood, a renowned medium, claimed the spirits of the violin's previous owner still haunted the instrument. She described seeing the ghostly figure of Lucian Darnell, his eyes wide with terror, trying to escape the violin's grip. Blackwood also described hearing the sound of a violin playing in the dead of night, even when no one was nearby. The violin, she said, was an object of pure malevolence, feeding on the souls of those who dared to play it. As the legend of the bloody violin grew, it inevitably made its way into pop culture. In 1927, the violin was the subject of a silent horror film titled The Devil's Stradivarius. The film, though never widely distributed, became a cult classic in horror circles. The film's plot revolved around the violin's cursed history and the lives it destroyed. Later, in the 1970s, a more widely recognized film, Strings of Death, was made. The film, however, though fictionalized, drew heavily on the bloody violin's legend, introducing audiences to the concept of cursed musical instruments. The bloody violin continued to inspire horror fiction, including several novels and short stories by writers such as Eleanor Blackwood and Victor Craven. The instrument's eerie presence has also influenced countless songs, including a haunting composition by Ludwig de Ville, a classical composer who was rumored to have been inspired by the violin's cursed sound. The bloody violin, like many cursed objects, has found its way into the hands of collectors and paranormal enthusiasts. There are still rumors that the violin is in private collections, though its whereabouts are unknown. Its legacy lives on, haunting the lives of those who hear its story. And so, my friends, the tale of the bloody violin comes to an end, for now. If you ever find yourself drawn to the beauty of a violin, remember the blood-soaked history it may carry. Should you hear its haunting melody in the night, be wary. For it is said that the violin calls to those who are destined to fall victim to its curse. Thank you for joining me, Lilith Fury, the Eldritch Queen of Horror, in tonight's exploration of the terrifying and the unknown. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join the conversation by leaving your thoughts and your own experiences in the comments. Until next time, keep your wits sharp and your curiosity sharper.